Good morning and welcome back to White Mountains Today here on White Mountain TV 16. Right here in the studio is Sharon Schilling from the Mount Washington Observatory, the Executive Director.
President.
I'm sorry, I should have.
Okay.
I knew it was one of those two. Yeah, so, President of the Mount Washington Observatory.
Yes.
And how are you today?
I'm great. Doing really good.
And you've been here for almost 2 years, coming up.
It'll be 2 years in September. Yep.
Wow, that's awesome.
Like I said, it went like that. It feels like yesterday.
And you've been busy.
Very, always. Always. Well, you know, it's a weekly shift change up top, so there's always something new happening there. There's always, obviously, new weather every day, and then there's always equipment that has to be maintained. There's people change outs. We've had 2 new observers join our team.
Oh, really?
2 of our sort of veterans, one veteran, Mike Carmen, and the other, Caleb Mute, Caleb was our night observer.
Yeah.
So both of those have gone on to other pastors.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and so we've hired 2 brand new observers.
What fun.
Ian Bailey and Christopher Homan. And interestingly enough, both of them had interned with the observatory prior to now becoming a full-time employee. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well, it's so much fun. You know, of course, every week we chat with the observers up on the summit. It's just so much fun getting to know them. Yeah. And, I mean, what an experience that they have.
They do.
It's terrific.
They do. And every single one of them comes away with, you know, even as an intern, when you're up there for the summer or the winter, you come away with such a sense of awe of what the weather is about, what Mother Nature can do, the change that happens, you know, overnight from one day to another. Ryan Knapp, who has been a weather observer for about 10 years now and predominantly does nighttime. If you've ever watched our Facebook or followed our Facebook, the pictures that he takes.
Oh, unbelievable pictures.
He had one this last week of the Milky Way that was just spectacular, just spectacular. And I don't think that there's really another place that you can actually observe that kind of change, that kind of phenomena, that kind of crazy weather. And
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's just so much fun. Any chance that I can get to the summit of Mount Washington and just see it and also see it from the top. But one of the things that I love is being able to see it from all perspectives. You know, when you go up to Whitefield or, you know, and then coming down the roads, all the different angles are one of the great things about Mount Washington. And there's always so much going on, and you've got a lot going on. The museum is up and running and going up there on the summit now that we're into summer.
Extreme Mount Washington is up and running. If you did not visit in the latter part of last year, then go back this year, because we had installed near the end of the season an artist in residency exhibit. And then we'll also be installing this summer an oral history project of the observatory.
Oh, really? That's terrific.
It's very interesting to document what some of the people, you know, who had early connections to the observatory. One of them is Jack Middleton, who we actually we interviewed him. And we've just recently named the weather room up top for him. It's now the Jack B. Middleton Weather Room.
Oh, that's great.
He's been a trustee of the observatory for over 60 years.
Wow.
Not counting the time that he did as an observer.
Yeah.
And so we, to honor that, we named the weather room the Jack B. Middleton Weather Room.
Oh, that's terrific.
Yeah.
That's
terrific. Then we have down in the Weather Discovery Center, if folks haven't been there recently, we have the hurricane simulator that we put in. We'll also be installing later in the summer a duplicate of that oral history project. We'll install that down in the valley as well.
Oh,
so.
that's great.
Yeah.
And what are the hours for it in the valley?
10 to 5.
10 to 5. So
daily.
You can, check that out. And it's one of those things, just great to be able to go in there and see, even though I've been there, I can't tell you how many times, but it's always fun. The kids always have a great time. Yeah. And just checking out the film. I love watching the film. Yeah. And it's just a neat thing. And then being able to do the observer.
Right, live from the Rockpile.
Live from the Rockpile.
Yeah, connect to those guys up top, yeah.
Yeah, and chat with
see what
them.
They're doing, see what's going on, what they're seeing, what they're not seeing. Just clouds, just fog, yeah.
Or sometimes we're in the clouds and they're
above it.
Yeah.
They're above the clouds, yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Very much so. And then we've got Seak the Peak coming later this season. In July, 21st and the 20th and 21st is Seak the Peak, our fundraiser for the year, the largest fundraiser that we run.
Yeah.
It really is an important part of what we do. It's an important part of how we maintain and run the observatory and the organization. So We encourage everyone to get out there, find a team, or go by yourself. You don't have to hike Mount Washington. You can seek your own peak. It could be a nature walk. I think I was kidding at the annual meeting. I said, you don't even actually have to.
I have stairs in my house.
Right. Well, I said, you can get up and walk to the refrigerator. I'm not particular, as long as you hike somewhere. But yeah, it's very important, and there's such a great after party once
absolutely.
It's done. Yeah, there really
Absolutely.
is. Lots of prizes, too. Lots of really great prizes.
Yeah, so it's a neat thing, and I mean that's been going on now for a whole
18 years.
Is it 18
This is
years?
the 18th annual.
Wow.
I know.
Boy, like you say, time just moves along
Moves
quickly.
along quickly. Yes.
But yeah, what a great event that is, and there's always so much going on, on Mount Washington, around Mount Washington,
Yes.
and just getting up there and being able to see and enjoy.
Oh yeah. Well, and for those people who can't actually get to the summit, we also have a series down in the valley. This is the 11th annual Science in the Mountains. And so if you happen to be in town, if you have guests coming, it's free to the public. It's on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. It starts the week after 4th of July. And it has a series of 6 weeks where we have different guest lecturers come in and talk about all kinds of different subjects, from what impact does the climate have on our economy, to there's some thunderstorm and all kinds of different subjects that we talk about. So.
Yeah, and we'll be talking about those, here on the program. But it's a great program. I've been to a few of those, and just being able to, the interactive and being able to chat with the people who have the knowledge.
Yes. And it's really great. I mean, we love it because we like to be able to do something for the local community.
Yeah.
And with it being free to the public, it's always nice that you don't have to feel pressured to do anything. You can just show up when the time begins. There's no reservations or anything. So.
Well, that's great. Yeah. And of course, you can always check out the website.
Absolutely.
And keep up to date with the observers' comments and look at the photos. Or just look at the weather, which is what I do on a regular basis.
Or follow us on Facebook, because on Friday nights at 6 p.m. and then on Saturday mornings at 8:30 and Sunday mornings at 8:30, we have Facebook Live sessions. So you can ask your questions in the Facebook comments, and they'll answer them on air. You get to see what the conditions are like right then and there going on the summit, and then they'll give you the summit forecast for the next couple days as well. But and Marty every once in a while makes a star appearance. So
I'll be walking by. I remember seeing Marty when I was up there last summer. The kids were like, "It's the cat."
It's the cat. Yeah. Nope. Marty is healthy and wealthy and wise. Still doing real well.
That's great. And like you say, you can travel to the summit of Mount Washington, check that out.
Yes.
But you also want people to become members of the observatory.
I do. Obviously, as a nonprofit, we're a member-driven, member-supported organization. We have corporate sponsors. We have some contracts. But people often confuse the fact that we're not part of the National Weather Service. We're not part of the state park. They all think that that's how we get our funding.
Right.
It's not. It's predominantly from our members. And so becoming a member, it's not, we have different levels. Students can join at $20, I think it is, $20 or $30. Families, individuals, a family membership is $75. That's not terribly expensive for all of the perks that you can get.
Yeah.
If you are a member, you have the opportunity to volunteer for a week at the top of the mountain and spend time with the observers. You spend the week. Your primary duties are to help them and do some cooking for them, because you can imagine, with busy 12-hour shifts and everything that they're doing, they don't always have time to cook a good meal for themselves. So we really rely on our volunteers to do that quite a bit.
Yeah.
And but you can only do that if you're a member.
Yeah, and that's neat. When I did my edu trip years ago, and met some great couple guys from Rhode Island who were up there as the volunteers that week, and they made some great food while we were up there too. And what a neat thing to be able to do.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's an experience, spending a week up on the summit of Mount Washington.
Yeah. We have some volunteers that have been coming back for 10, 12, 15 years doing volunteering for us.
That's great.
Yeah, they're all very, very experienced at cooking for high altitude, because you have to remember to do that.
That's true. That's right. Yeah. Baking cakes. It always says on the side of the box.
That's
yeah.
right. The high altitude instructions. You have to follow them up
That's
there.
funny.
So yeah, it's very, very neat. But you mentioned edu-trips. We also have summer edu-trips.
Right.
So those are all very, very interesting. We do a lot. Ones that talk about photography. There's a new one this year that talks about thunderstorms, the science of thunderstorms, which, when you get them on the top of Mount Washington, are pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
Pretty spectacular to see lightning and thunder, and see that hopefully off in a distance.
Right.
It can move. It can move pretty quickly and be on, say, clay, and then the next thing you know, it's striking right near Mount Washington. So we make sure everybody's inside, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Sharon, thanks so much for coming by.
Oh, thank you for
and
having me.
definitely check out the website and find out more about it, become a member, and of course, Seek the Peak coming up.
20 and 21 July.
Right, less than a month, or a month from today.
Right about a month from today. Yeah. So get out there, start raising money. Even at $200, you can get a Seek the Peak T-shirt, and you get a backpack, and all kinds. You get your name put into drawings for all kinds of spectacular prizes.
That sounds great.
And that great after party.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be at the after party to win the prizes.
No,
right?
you do not.
So
No,
that's kind of a little bonus
Absolutely.
if you can't make that weekend, because sometimes
Right.
that can happen. So.
Absolutely, and you don't have to hike Mount Washington even that weekend. You can hike a weekend around then, if it's more convenient for you, and then still be a participant and still earn all the prizes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well,
Thanks.
Sharon, thanks again for being here.
Thank you.
And we'll be back here in a minute on White Mountains Today.